Buried Tomorrow have been touring the UK along with Make Them Suffer, Thornhill, and As Everything Unfolds. And I was able to check them out at the London Roundhouse recently. And side note, it's quite cool to know, that venue is completely run by a charity helping young people get into creative careers. That's pretty sweet. And the gig was sweet too. So to begin with, it was a sold out gig, and I was quite impressed by that because the Roundhouse is not a small venue. Buried Tomorrow are a band that have been, doing the rounds, doing their tours, and growing over the years. I saw them previously many years ago at Coco's, and this, now the Roundhouse, is a big deal, especially to have sold it out. And the bands on before them were of high caliber as well, so I was really looking forward to the entire set of bands at this particular gig. The first band of the night was As Everything Unfolds, who I have heard of, and I know I've heard a couple of their songs before. In fact, I recognized one of them during the set list, but really it was only one song I was familiar with, so I was interested to see what they were going to be like live, and could they translate to someone who doesn't really know their music in a live context. And I really think that they did. They did a good job overall. Musicians performed very well. It was very tight as a performance. The vocalist was bouncing up and down the stage, spinning around and engaging the crowd as much as she could there. Had a great range. Her pitching, to be honest, was phenomenal. Wonderful singing voice, and had some scream vocals as well to back that up, which was kind of cool to see. Now that band unfortunately has gone through a tragedy earlier this year and have lost one of their band members, which was referenced at one point during the set, and they have a fill-in on drums, helping provide them with the opportunity to fulfill this tour and help the band grow and connect to more people. And it was a very touching moment when the vocalist referenced this, but obviously found it difficult to sing, I think, a couple lines of the next verse after the fact. It sounded like a really, really tough situation there. So it made it even more impressive that they were able to come together and perform in, heightened circumstances in a way, and did genuinely an excellent job by the end. I was thoroughly impressed. A very solid performance overall. A couple of moments in songs that really landed for me, and there was that one song that I knew that I was excited to hear live. There's definitely tons of potential there. They absolutely held their own in this lineup. After them was Thornhill, who I've already seen and reviewed actually as part of their Polaris support tour earlier on in the UK. So I'll put a link around this video so you can check that one out if you're interested. But it was much the same. It was really good, high quality performance, and excellent tight drumming. Really big fan of his work. The guitarist on the right-hand side of the stage, I don't think I saw him crack even a half smile. Very sort of focused, moody individual. Performed brilliant though, and every once in a while he'd have a sort of slight, almost incidental dance groove along with what he's playing. That was kind of funny to watch. The vocalist just oozes confidence at this stage. He's mostly wearing a baseball cap, which is an interesting choice. You can really see his face for a lot of the delivery there. But a really, really solid band, a solid performance overall. And they had their second song of the set list tonight was their brand new one called Nerd, which I think is a masterpiece when I first heard it on the studio recording, the music video there. So that was fucking epic to hear and see live. They've got so much power, and the scream vocals, I don't remember them being as intense and deep and amazing as they were here at the Roundhouse. Perhaps they're working on that a little bit, but some moments where it got super fucking heavy, and it was really, really impressive. They played a couple of deep cuts from the Dark Pool album, which I know went over well with the crowd, but overall, a very solid live performance from Thornhill, as expected. And then it was the band that I was most actually excited to see of the lineup, because Make Them Suffer are one of my absolute favorite bands. So to see them again playing at the Roundhouse was an absolute treat. I saw them once before in support of Stray from the Path. I think that might have been last year. So I knew they could deliver, and it just was absolutely fucking epic. As expected. They come out on stage and they just rip it. Actually, before they come out on stage, they played a song from Team America. They're like, What Would You Do? The Freedom Song, which was such an unusual tone setter. But it elicited a few laughs and chuckles as it started, and then people realized, oh, we're hearing the whole thing? Okay. Anyway, they then end up rushing on stage, and their energy level is at a 10 from the start, and they do not let it drop the whole thing. And it was something like a 40-45 minute set. It was a long, because of the main support, long set to put together, and a really wonderful mix of new songs off their latest self-titled album, and also some deeper cuts from the past. They're playing songs like Bones. I think that might be their second, third song, which is pure filth and absolutely wonderful to experience live in that way. And Erase Me as well was another huge one from an earlier standpoint. They closed on Doom Switch, but every single moment was just punch after punch of amazing scream vocals from Sean. Also, a lot of the melodic chorus and things that he was working on with his vocals as well. That was impressive. Alex Reid over on the far left-hand side of the stage there, doing a phenomenal job with the melodic vocals, especially in the choruses where it really lands on her to deliver those. Also the scream vocals backing them up. And when she didn't have keys or screaming to do, she was just headbanging by herself, which was kind of cool to see. The guitarists are running up and down the stage. I mean, Nick is an absolute monster. The things he can play whilst also spinning around and doing scissor kicks, and the intensity from them, I could hear them because I was close to the front there. Like, not with mics in front of him. Himself and the bassists at points were just like shouting at the crowd, like, "Wake up, you dogs!" Like, trying to get everyone really hyped and energetic and stimulating the crowd surfers and mosh pits and things. They're really intense. But you kind of go with it. They set a tone of energy, and the crowd meets it. And that was very, very cool to see. Really well performed from start to finish. Every song I just think absolutely landed wonderfully. One of the best bands in the scene right now. An absolute pleasure to witness again. And then it was on to the headliner of Bury Tomorrow, who have written some songs in the past that I've really enjoyed. There have been some standouts. I haven't been as in touch with their music over the last couple of years here, but I have seen them live before and have been impressed. And I think, for me, they are better live than on record. Their records are decent. I think the songwriting is good, but live, it really lands. The main lead vocalist has such an impressive technical range of vocal delivery expression. Like, he can do every single, the low gutturals, the high cry, the animal noises. It's all in there, and some melodic singing here and there. It's all in there. Prowling up and down the stage with an absolute burning ferocity. Really quite entertaining. And they have a new member who's on this. He had additional drums and some keyboards and some trigger pads, but also does the big melodic singing that appears just there. And just phenomenal. His pitching was perfect. His stage presence was charismatic, but not super over the top. He wasn't trying to take his moment in every, kind of thing and try and drown out the rest of the band. He was there to serve the purpose of the song, deliver the vocals as well as he could, add a little something visually extra as well. I think did an excellent job of all of that. Across the board, well executed guitar work from everyone in the band, especially the guy who was on the far left of the stage, was doing all kinds of tapping duties and things. Very, very impressive guitar work. Lighting show was pretty cool. They had a bit of an intro thing, which is sort of reminded me a lot of Bring Me the Horizon's recent tours, where there's a sort of AI, system failure thing, and then the show is about, can we fix this, like system abandoned or something. That was a little bit too similar to what I've seen from Bring Me the Horizon. Fine. They managed to set a tone of this is going to be something of a show as well as just coming here and playing songs back to back. So I really enjoyed it, genuinely. That's the kind of band that if they're available to go and watch live, I will do. Like, if they're playing at a festival, unless there's a horrible clash, I will go and see them. They're very, very good live. And they clearly went over very well with the crowd. Again, sold out Roundhouse, largely to see them. And yeah, it was a massive moment for them and for everyone that was there and enjoying it from the perspective of the crowd. Really genuinely impressive live performance. They do what they do really well. And it's always nice to see a stacked lineup like this. I mean, as everything unfolds, Thornhill, Make Them Suffer, Bury Tomorrow, that's loaded with quality. Like, that is a fucking great... The metal music scene in the live universe is in such a good place right now. Certainly when it comes to the tours in the UK that I'm lucky enough to be able to go to, because every tour comes through London at some point. That gig was so epic. Really, really, really cool. Now, if you haven't yet, do consider subscribing to the channel if you want more metal music content in your YouTube feed. On this channel, I check out new releases and kind of review them. I also do live reviews just like this one, and there is a podcast as well where I interview people in the music industry, in the rock universe, and also various artists and things from bands. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and perhaps I'll see you in another video very soon.